Hi, welcome to Remember This. I am your host, Denise, and I have with me a very exciting guest. He is a comedian, an actor, host, and MC who, along with his wife Bernadette, started As One Entertainment, a live event production company. Everybody, please welcome Eugene T. Barnes. Hey, Eugene, welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Denise. You did your research. I was like, oh, she knows about me.
That's my job.
I like it. I like it.
Now, speaking of jobs, I read your background. My
Yep.
daughter actually, she works for Starbucks.
Really?
And
Ooh,
the
how
only
long?
reason the reason she chose it as her job right now because
Mhm.
they pay for her tuition,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
she's going
yeah.
to online college, which is a great thing.
Okay, it's great. They take care of you. That's how they hook you. The tuition, the benefits for even
Right,
part time. But
right.
once she's a barista. Is she in management? Where is she on
No,
that?
she's a barista, but she's kind
Okay.
of like got the bug now that she
Yeah.
likes the industry. She
Uh-huh.
wants to go into like business
Yeah.
administration now, or maybe run her
Okay.
own
Okay.
coffee shop. Who knows?
Okay, okay.
Or maybe she'll become a comedian like you. Who knows?
Hey, listen, whatever, wherever life takes you. But yeah, it's sweet while you're a barista. You clock in, you clock out, you get to
Right.
go. It was when I got into management. I made it to assistant manager within the 8 years, and they especially working in Manhattan, which mine
Oh,
was yeah, I was right in between. I was on 35th and 8th in Manhattan. That's right in between Times Square and Herald Square. We got it like, and it
oh
was
yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah, it was crazy.
Had to
It's
be
like I
crazy
can't.
busy.
I
Yeah.
we get it from
So
both sides.
yeah, and I think that's true with anything, because even in my job, I don't want to move up to management because I know how stressed a
Hmm.
lot of these managers are. It's just so much more
Yep.
responsibility. And you know what? You want to do your 8 hours and go home,
And that's
and
it.
when you're in
And that's
management,
it.
that's not easy to do.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep. So
So
yeah.
when did you decide that you wanted to go into comedy?
Oh man, I've always liked comedy and wanted to do stand up. And then even in man, as far back as like elementary school, I would just always I love the spotlight. I was always like class clown. That
Right, right.
typical story.
Yeah.
And then I when I got to high school didn't really know what I was gonna do. Wasn't really the best student, wasn't athletic, which so I was just like kind of in limbo. And then I I had a drama teacher at the time who told me about a audition. In I grew up in Florida. It was in the next town, Orlando. Auditioned for an acting school. I auditioned for the school. Got in on the spot, and so I was like, all right. It was in New York. I guess I'm going to New York. I had no other
Oh,
plans.
wow. Now,
Yeah.
what was the audition like? What did they ask you to do? Do you remember?
I had to get it. I had to do a monologue for just like a panel of I actually spoke to the founder of the school. She was there, and then a few just a few panel people on the panel, and yeah, auditioned for them. I made up my monologue on the spot. I didn't write anything. I just went and did something. Got in on the spot. Moved to New York. Wanted to do comedy for years as far as stand up. Even in acting school, I did a lot of improv. I'd always just get the comedic roles, even when I was trying to be serious. People were laughing at me. so,
Right.
so I'm like, there must be something to this. So I finally got the nerve because I carried around a notebook for years, just horrified to do stand up. I did a lot of improv and comedic acting, but nothing's like stand up because it's just you in a mic, and that can be horrifying. So
Yeah.
once I finally got the nerve to try it, it bit me. I was like, oh, this is it. I gotta do this. And so I went that route as opposed to like the acting route because I could you can do it yourself with stand up. It's not really waiting for anybody to give you the opportunity. You just find a place with a mic, and you can go do it, and just kind of work my way up through the ranks. And yeah, we've been
Right.
rocking ever since.
So now, when you first did stand up, was it successful, or you know?
Mm. Good
'Cause,
question.
it's hard to keep an audience and to keep them laughing. Even I would think even for 5 minutes to keep them laughing. But
I remember a time when 5 minutes felt like forever. it can definitely be a lot when you're not doing well. 5 minutes is an eternity.
Right.
But my first set went very well, extremely well, which is not everybody's story. But like I did it. I was good at it. Got a good crowd response. The other comedians were impressed with me, and it was great. And then for about at least 5 to 6 months after that, I bombed straight.
Oh, you
Yeah,
went downhill.
like it was
Okay.
like I don't know. I think maybe I got cocky in it. It's
Was
like
it
I
like
got
a
this.
slump?
It was a slump. It lasted a while, but once I got back up and kind of figured it out, because I didn't really know what stand up was. I think early on, because I would go to open mics and watch the seasoned comics, watch them work. And build sets and sit in the back of the shows, and I was like, why are they saying the same thing every time? Like in my mind, I didn't get like me. I'm going with fresh jokes every time, and I'm gonna do
Right.
something new, and which is why I was bombing. I wasn't
Right.
building a set. I didn't realize that was what it was. So once I
Right.
got that, I started singing with material, working on it, and then it got better. So yeah.
And that's how you learn, right?
Yeah, that you learn way more from the bombing than you do when you crush. So
Right.
yeah,
So, I notice in your performances, you incorporate the audience.
yeah,
Now, is that do you just? I mean, I guess you have to wing it because
yeah.
you're doing it. Interacting
Hmm.
with them on the spot.
Hmm.
Is that hard to do?
Not for me. That's more my comfort zone. I love, like I said, I started in improv, so that muscle is still there. I can hop up on a stage and
Right.
just you know go and do it. And to me, it's more. I have a harder time preparing a set than I do just going off the cuff.
Mm,
Yeah, so I've heard it explained like the difference between a comedian and a comic. A comic is someone who has to stick to that script. If someone's heckling them, they'll just keep going what they wrote. They can't really, they don't know how to handle that. And a comedian is able to navigate in between their set and anything that may happen, in the room or with anything that pops up in the head. So I love that. That's where I thrive, is where it's just, making it up, having fun with the audience, getting to know them. I always go in with the mindset of, by the end of this, me and this crowd are going to be family. Like they're really going to get to know me. I'm going to get to know them. And,
right.
it's an experience, so.
Yeah. And you do really good at it. Like so,
Thank you.
I just want the audience to know. So
Yeah.
I first saw you in Avenel, New Jersey. You opened
Mhm.
for Mark Price, who's Skippy. He was Skippy on
Yep.
Family Ties, and
Uh-huh.
it's kind of like a hard spot to be in because everybody's there to see one person.
Yeah.
They're there for Mark, right? And then you got
Yeah.
to like come out and like, okay, he's not coming out yet, But you
Yeah.
did an amazing job. You won the audience over. You really did. And
Thank
it's funny
you.
that you said that about the improv because I remember
Yeah.
Mark Price was doing the ringtones, which was hysterical.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
certain ringtones when certain people call,
Yeah. It's a good
and I
bit.
remember
Yeah.
people were calling out names, and he's like, "We're not taking requests because this is part of my
He had his set. Yeah.
my script. Yeah, this is my set," which I
Yeah.
thought was very funny.
Yeah. No, that was hilarious. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, like in those, situations, and it helps when you're opening for someone or hosting, which I do a lot. Just to kind of get the crowd warmed up and let them know that, hey, it goes both ways. Because comedy is very, very energy based, very about the vibes. You really do get what you give, and if the audience isn't, with you or giving what they need to give, the rest of the show suffers. So it does
Right.
kind of help me when I'm in those situations when I have to open
Yeah.
or either host. If I kind of work my way in with just talking to them, it kind of throws the audience like, oh, we're a part of this.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah. So
I
it
think
helps to
that's
have the
great.
skill set. Yeah, for
And
sure.
you remind me of like your type of comedy. You remind me of Sinbad, because
Ah!
Well, you know what? And I always love Sinbad, and I'm going to tell you why. Because anybody could be funny when they start cursing. Oh, it's so funny because
Yes,
they said this effing thing. If they say
yes,
this thing, it's not
yes,
funny. But if they say this effing thing, oh my God, it's
yeah.
hysterical.
It's
But he
priceless.
never, right? But he never had to use off-color jokes, and he
Yes.
never had to use curse words, and that's what.
Mhm.
And so you remind me of that because your jokes
And
are very family oriented.
yeah, yeah. I'm happy you noticed that. And I did Sinbad is one of my like he's top
Ah,
five for me for sure. So the
yeah,
fact that you
the
said
best.
him is like that's a big compliment. And yeah, my goal is to I'm big on that. Like I don't like to call myself a clean comedian. And I think a lot of times when people talk about clean, they think about the subject matter. I'll talk about anything. I think is the way you do it. A lot of innuendo and beating around the bush, saying without saying. I love that stuff. And then what I pride myself on is I've been told people don't even realize that I didn't curse. I go on with guys dropping F bomb after F bomb, you know what I mean?
Right,
But then
right,
I'm just as funny, and they didn't even realize like, oh wait, it's an afterthought. You didn't, did you? So,
right.
so I like the funny to speak, and then everything else falls after. So
Well, whatever you're doing, it's working. So now your wife and children, I like that you incorporate them in your performances. How have they been instrumental in your success?
oh my gosh, they are it, man. Like I mean,
That's
you've heard the
awesome.
set. There's a lot of kids jokes. Talk about my wife and I. They are it. Like they are the gold mine for all my material. And then honestly, my wife and I, we say all the time, because we met in college. So we met in the acting school that I told in the story earlier. So she was an actress as well. Now she's a singer, songwriter. So she does both. And we joked like because we got together pretty young in college, and we didn't really take advantage of that time while we didn't have kids and we were young, no real responsibilities. We were kind of
Right,
just kind of floating through life. It was when we had our first kid that we were like, okay, if we're gonna do this, it has to be now. And that's when we kind of locked in and went for it like full time, and we really started to grind towards what we wanted to do. So the kids thrusted us, but a lot of people it would stop.
right,
They thrusted us into the mindset, and it was important. It's important to me to show your kids that anything is possible. A lot of people say it, you can grow up and be anything, you can do anything you want, but then they go to jobs that they hate and
right,
don't want to be at. So it
right.
was important for my kids to see, all right, daddy's out chasing his dream, daddy and mommy. So yeah, man, they are it. Like
That's awesome. Now, you're great
yeah.
role models. That's awesome. I
Thank
remember
you.
seeing Kevin James when he was single do stand
Mm-hmm.
up, and it was all like dating jokes, single
Mm-hmm.
jokes. But
Mm-hmm.
then he came back to Staten Island, St. George Theater, after he was married with kids, and
Yeah.
the whole performance was about his wife and kids, and I loved
Yeah.
it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. It really takes over. You can't not if somebody is getting on stage who is married with kids and
Right,
not talking about them, something's wrong.
right,
Like you have to, it is so consuming. And then my kids say stuff that I can just take word for word and just repeat it on stage. I don't have to write a joke. I don't have to structure it or I can just say what they said,
right,
and it's a
right.
killer. They are such a good source of material.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I just recently interviewed Bill Kinnison. Sam Kinnison was one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah.
And he did
Mm-hmm.
push the envelope, but he was very funny. And he never wrote a routine. It was just what was going
Mm-hmm.
on in his life at the
Mm-hmm.
time. And he would just get out on stage and just talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that the audience really responds to that.
Yeah, I struggle with that, and that's something that actually Mark Price was very encouraging to me about, because I've always worried about that, because that's where I thrive. So in the comedy world, you'll hear seasoned comedians, and especially like club bookers, people that book talent, they look for the set. What are you talking about? How are your joke structure? How good of a writer are you? You know what I mean? Where's the setup? Where's the punchline? And I worried that I wouldn't be able to fit, because of my thing is more of the improv and the off the cuff. And he pointed out several comedians, I believe Sam Kinison being one of them, that you can do this. You can just do improv, or you know what I mean. It's a great hosting skill, or personalities hosting talk shows. Like there's avenues for what you do, and that was very encouraging. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think he paved the way for a lot of comedians.
yeah,
Yeah, to
for
give them
sure.
the freedom. I don't know how we would have handled today with the cancel culture and so
Today, yeah.
he would have been a rebel, boy, big
Yeah,
time.
he would have. Yeah, yes, he would have. You have comedians now, like Dave Chappelle is trying to, carry that torch and not, worry about,
Right.
what people say. I think
Yeah.
I try not to. I don't touch too much, just because my stuff is just family based
Yeah.
anyway. Like I don't get political or anything
Right.
like that. Everybody can relate to family, but you see much. I do go in and I talk about like race and the differences in race and stuff like that. I think my personality will allow me to get. They're like, oh, this guy's
and I was
harmless.
going to
The
say
look,
that.
yeah,
I love that you're doing that. Yeah,
yeah.
because listen, this is America, okay? Land of the free, free
Come on.
speech. It's like
Yeah.
you can't. Come on, comedians are expected to say things that nobody else would say.
That's what we do. If you take that away, what will we do? It's like you
Exactly.
try to please everybody, you end up with a monologue or a TED talk versus a comedy set. Like this is not.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get from doing like local stand up to you travel now, right? You travel.
I travel.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm around the country. I try to do with the family and stuff. I'm try to be at home as much as possible. So what I'll do is like what I did with Mark Price, just a weekend, and then I'm back. So I mean, it was really just word of mouth, and as you keep going, you meet other people, other comedians that want to bring you on the road for a weekend, or have you go open up or host for them. And so you travel like that. But I really came up in the New Jersey, New York scene, and then it was just meeting people from there. And how I got a lot of my traveling stuff was through doing private events. So going out and emceeing weddings and hosting fundraisers, or even birthday parties at bar mitzvahs. I've done like everything like that. So I'm on a couple of booking sites where people would just find me, and those are open to they're national. So anybody, I can get hit up and go to California or whatever, So once I kind of built my base here in Jersey and New York, then it kind of just word of mouth. You start getting the reviews, people see you more and more, and then you just kind of grow from there. So yeah, that's how it started.
That's amazing. And now the acting part. I know you and your wife have done some skits.
Here, you can have some.
Didn't you just see me get some juice?
I just want to sip.
Just a sip.
Mm.
All right. Okay.
Oh, here you go. This is my show. Oh my God, this is funny, man. Oh, I love the show. Oh my gosh, yeah.
The kids are quiet. Yeah.
Do you still find the time to put some skits together?
We do from time to time, trying to get into it more. We actually just started a podcast, Bedside with the Barneses. It'll be available shortly everywhere you get your podcasts, where we just talk about our life and being entrepreneurs, married, kids, parents, all that stuff. And we recently, last year, we did 2 shows that we called An Evening with the Barneses, and that was a music comedy mix. We did one over in Jersey City, New Jersey, and then we did one off Broadway in Times Square. They went very well, and so it's a mix of music and comedy, and it tells the story of our relationship through different songs and comedy, sketches and stuff like that. So that went really well. Hoping to do more of those and travel with that. Actually, maybe Avenel, we'll be in touch for sure. We would love to bring it there.
That would be great.
And travel with that and do more, even incorporate the kids. We want to plan on, because they have my wife has a band, and the kids have sung with the band and things like that. My oldest is getting into stand-up. She's done it twice at her school and did very well. So
I was following in your footsteps there.
Yeah, I was like, you sure? You sure? because that's very brave. In school, she's in the 6th grade now. At that age,
Yeah.
that's
It's like the highest compliment, right? When you
yeah,
wants to do what you do. That's great.
yeah. So so we still are doing stuff together, and that took us a while, and I think we had to take our separate paths. I kind of went into stand up. She went more music and kind of toured around and did her thing. Did the club spots in New York, Blue Note, those places, Sugar Bar. And so it was a while till we kind of merged it. I would go out support her, she'd come out support me. We take turns with the kids and be out just kind of doing separate things. And then just last year, the opportunity we had talked about it for a while and kicked it around, but the opportunity really presented itself for us to kind of merge things, and it was it turned out great. Great responses from the crowd. It was, though, I would say, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Was it?
So
Why is that?
work with her creatively, because we're artists, so we're sensitive anyway. And then you add your husband and wife, you know what I mean? Anything that I would say to critique or she would say to critique, it was just extra sensitive.
Yes, I can see that. Yep.
So there were moments in meetings where we were writing out the script and stuff, where we would just, rather than offend each other, we just sit in silence for like 20 minutes at a time, because nobody wanted to be the first to say, I don't like this or I don't like that. So
right.
Yeah.
But again, that's something that you end up working through, right? And
yeah, totally. We got through it. It was all worth it. But the process was not easy. Yeah.
So now she's a singer.
She's a singer, so
Nice.
she leads a band, but she's a singer. So she has a like a soul R&B jazzy type sound.
No, girl, I got something else to do. I got something. Go ahead, really get your groove on, yeah. 'Cause tonight my man's coming through. We're gonna have to connect some other time. As much as I like to shake my thing on the dance floor, I got another nasty freaky just right way in mind. Tonight I'm gonna be the high score. You love me, baby.
That she does. So she's a singer. You guys can look her up, Bernadette Barnes, BernadetteBarnes.com. And on our production website, you'll see info about the show as oneentertainment.com. So if you guys want to check her out,
That's awesome. And you have a website.
Yes, EugeneTBarnes.com. My full name straight through.com.
So now, do you have any shows coming up?
We are at Silvana doing our show together. That's in Harlem, Silvana. Let me look up the date for you guys.
Is that near the Apollo?
Yeah, Friday the 27th. It's 116th, not quite that far up in the Harlem. 116th Street. It is the Friday the 27th, January 27th, at 8 p.m. And that's no admission, so it's free entry. And we'll be doing an hour set together. So it's a little preview of An Evening with the Barnes. It's a show that we do together. So if anybody's around.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So one last question. And then you can give me like your YouTube links and stuff so people can reach you. What would you say to an upcoming artist, comedian? What kind of advice would you give?
Oh, man. Do you? First of all, don't be, if you think you have a style, don't be afraid to, put that out there. Don't shy away from it. But also, listen, take advice. If you run into more seasoned comics, don't think you know it all. There's always something to learn. And just definitely follow your own path, because there's comedians that make it work in the club scene, and they're in the clubs 5 to 7 nights a week, and that's their grind. There's comedians that do private events and MC weddings, and they find their way that way. And there's comedians that do more acting things. So find your niche, and don't don't let anybody tell you that your niche won't work or your niche isn't a niche. If you feel you have it, go for it.
That's amazing advice.
Yeah.
Awesome. And don't limit yourself.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
never know. You're never going to find your niche if you do limit yourself, right?
That's it. I had to do a lot of things, to figure out. And then, like you said, now I told you I went more the stand-up route because I could just do that, But now I realize I've built a name in stand-up, but like what notoriety, did I really chase? So now I'm getting back into acting. I've booked a few commercials, and this year hoping to book a few TV spots, maybe some guest spots on some shows. Yeah, so
Oh,
I
that's
ended up
great.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, got an agent, so I'm doing that and stand up. So hoping to get more eyes on me. So
You can't mention any. You can't mention any of the names of the shows yet, right?
Not
Anything
yet.
that we would know? Okay.
Yeah.
So would it be something that we know that we're familiar with?
A few like pretty popular stuff.
That's awesome.
But yeah, in the works. So hopefully,
awesome.
yeah.
Wonderful. Well, God bless you. It was so great meeting you in Avenel, and so glad that you were able to come on and we can talk. And so if anybody wants to reach you or check out your platform, you're on YouTube.
Yeah, so YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and Facebook, just Eugene T. Barnes, and you will find me. My Instagram actually recently got hacked, so I saw my poster going, and I had to change my name and start from scratch, but it's ETB Comedy on Instagram, just my initials, ETB Comedy. And then again, you can find me eugenetbarnes.com, As One Entertainment. That's ASONE Entertainment. And there we have everything we have going on, all the shows we produce. And with the production company, we produce comedy shows, poetry nights, trivia events, anything like that, anything entertainment wise. We work with a lot of colleges, nonprofit organizations, corporations. So if you're looking for anything like that, go to that website, hit us up.
That is so awesome, Eugene. And you do something on Zoom, right? You do like a virtual show?
We did. We actually stopped it since things are opening back up. But yeah, that really opened up our fan base because we met people from all around the world. So yeah, it was an open mic that we did, which we may start again because it got really popular.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was. You met a lot of people. Yeah.
Awesome. Aw.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you. It was great talking with you. Thank you so much for being on. And we'll have you back and, let us know what's going on. Yeah.
All right. I'll bring the missus next time. Let me know.
I would love that. And the kitties.
Yeah. We'll have them all on. Thank you so much, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you for being on. All right. God bless you.
Thank you, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm going to let you know right now, okay? Let's see. I got kids, y'all. I got 3 children. If you want them, you can have them. Just let me know. I'll wrap them up for you and everything, okay? Listen, 3 kids, man. I got a 7-year-old daughter, sir. I don't know why I dressed you like he looks like he likes black girls. I don't know what's, okay. I have a 7-year-old daughter. I have a 7-year-old daughter. I was tucking my daughter in the other night, guys. It was a beautiful moment, guys, beautiful. I looked at my baby girl and I said, good night, baby. Auntie, shh. Shh. Gotta get through these jokes. I got 5 minutes, Auntie. Shh. I have a 7-year-old daughter. I was tucking her in the other night. Shh. I was tucking her the other night. I looked at her and I said, good night, baby girl. Simple, sir. Beautiful moment, okay? My baby girl looked back at me, guys, in my face. And she said, good night, baby daddy. Why would you? Reese! It got real. She really does own you. You came and sat right next to her. Oh my gosh. I'm scared of you too, Reese's wife. This is okay. Woo! That's power. She said, sit down, Reese, sit down. Okay, all right. I got 5 minutes, Reese. Stop talking to me. Okay. She called me baby daddy, y'all. Baby, she thought it was cute, sir. She didn't know. She's only 7, y'all, okay? She tried to flip it on me. Y'all caught that, baby girl, baby daddy. No, no, don't call me that, okay? As a matter of fact, don't you call nobody that. Like, ever, okay? Do y'all know that that little girl still calls me that? Ma'am, do you know what it's like for your 7-year-old to be running through Target screaming, have you seen my baby daddy? Has anybody seen my baby daddy? I have a 7-year-old daughter.